Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. This week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Today, the spotlight on the Logan Ranger basketball program. Our guests today, Matthew Borscheim and Josh Mcgrath. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
As we tape the show, Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King, one of my heroes, overcame a lot of injustice, overcame a lot of obstacles in his life. All of us are going to have obstacles in our life. And one of the obstacles and setbacks that you faced happened to be 2 days ago when you played at the Lacrosse Center and a controversial ending, a shot at the buzzer. Some say it didn't go in. It's hard to judge. It was that close. Can't change it now, but it was a detour. It was an obstacle. Life is not a four-lane expressway. Life is full of detours, obstacles, setbacks. It's a Logan Ranger setback. There's no question about it. Sports is teaching life lessons, starting with you, Matthew Borscheim. How do you react? How do you handle the rest of the season and other things in your life when you had this sort of monumental setback?
Well, you just kind of got to get over it and got to play that much harder next game to know that you'll be in the situation to come out on top.
And you've probably had some setbacks in your life, I would imagine, Josh. Not as, I mean, at the age of 17, you're not, those may come, may not, but you have to be able to pull yourself up and move on and learn from it, and that's life lessons in basketball. Did you learn any in that game?
Yes, I think there was a lot to learn. There's definitely things we could have done to not, I would say, put us in that situation at the end. Maybe defensive things that we could have been a little tighter on, making some of our free throws and stuff like that.
Free throws were certainly an issue in that game, and we're not going to talk all about that game because this is about getting to know you two up close and personal. But you're exactly right. It perhaps shouldn't have come down to that. We broadcast the game here on KQEG, and by the way, you, my friend, were my player of the game. Did you know that?
I did know that. Thank you.
You did or you didn't?
I did.
How did you know that?
I ended up watching it after we played.
Well, and you all played well, and Matthew played well too. You had 8 points, and but certainly when you, I made the comment that when you came in, the door opened, and you didn't just push it open; you kicked it open. I mean, the proverbial kicking the door open, and you showed exactly who you were. Your true colors came alive. What inspired that?
I think just taking advantage of the opportunities you get. Being a senior, you only get so many of those left to come. For me, I know, because basketball is not something I'm probably going to be doing in college, but I think it's just taking advantage of all the opportunities you get and doing the best with them that you can.
Do you think that may inspire the coaching staff to perhaps have you on the floor a little more often?
I would hope so, yes. I would hope so.
That's the plan, huh?
I would hope so.
Well, I mean, you early on, you were 6 for 7 or something at one point in shooting, and you just... Unfortunately, you're not playing any more games at the Lacrosse Center unless you play for the Showtime that play their games there. But so you like that court, certainly. And Matthew, let's not forget about you, because I'm up at Kaukauna, and our viewers probably didn't know this because we didn't cover the game, and I see a huge game up there where you played against Brown Deer, and it was your shining colors. It was your greatest game. Talk about that.
Well, Brown Deer is ranked number 2 in Division III, so we knew it was going to be a tough game coming in, and we knew that they had some good athletes and stuff, and we knew that they give up they score 100 points a game, and they give up about 80, so we knew we had to crash the glass, and that's exactly what I did, and I had multiple putbacks and stuff that just got me going, and I just kept on going.
Well, it was impressive, but reveal to our viewers what your stats were in that game.
24 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists.
And That's pretty impressive. Is that what we're going to see the rest of the way, too?
I don't think I'll be averaging that, but hopefully I can have some games that come close to that.
Really? Well, I don't really doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Well, again, getting to know our two guests up close and personal, and Matthew, two-sport athlete and high academic 3.8 GPA. Now, that's something to behold right there. All-conference sportsmanship, and you demonstrate what a student athlete's all about. Student first, athlete second.
Yep.
Knowing your family a little bit, perhaps that's an expectation. Share that.
Yeah. My family always told me I need to get my schoolwork done before I can focus on sports and have to get to college and stuff.
Of course.
Yep.
An everyday student doesn't get accepted anymore.
Nope.
Like they did perhaps at one point. And Josh, too, you epitomize student athlete, varsity letter winner, 4 years, 2 years in basketball, academic. Does that come natural to you?
I would say it wouldn't come natural, no. I would say it's about working. It comes with hard work. I'd say a lot of things aren't really given to you. Some things can be given to you daily, but there's some things you have to go out and get, and academic excellence is definitely one of them.
Describe a day in the life of a Logan Ranger student athlete. You know, your class, some of the classes you're taking quickly, and maybe some of your favorite classes and teachers.
Well, I guess it just starts off like a normal day. Classes you have to take, I take. It depends on the hardest classes you take. Like I take some AP classes.
Advanced placement classes, right?
Those definitely take a lot out of you, I would say. Just having them back to back in a row, and then after that, practice. It's
hard to balance everything?
It's definitely not easy. It can be done, but it's not easy.
It takes planning your day and your time and so on, and work habits. But what favorite class?
I'd say my favorite class right now is probably anatomy and physiology.
Ooh, tough. And your favorite teacher?
I have a lot of favorite teachers.
Oh, really? That's a good answer. And what about this one? Who's your favorite substitute teacher?
Maybe Terry Harrison.
that's just kidding. But
Yeah.
Matthew, you're taking a lot of AP classes too, and
Yep.
because you are looking at the next chapter of your life, aren't you?
Yeah.
And are they hard classes?
Yeah, I'd say they're difficult. I take 2 college prep classes for like English and math, which are difficult since there's a lot of homework for them, which I have to do after basketball, which is long hours.
Mm-hmm. And long hours means you need to really discipline yourself, and because there's lots of other things to do, right?
Yeah, I just need to manage my time.
Yeah, well, time management's such a critical part, and you're both leaders too. When I look at your resume, Matthew's involved in FBLA and National Honor Society, DECA, those things that demonstrate leadership and make you a good, well-rounded individual. And is that something that comes naturally to you being a leader?
Yeah, I would say it comes natural to me because I've always been a leader on my teams and stuff like that.
And the way you, Josh, the way you handle yourself too, you sort of epitomize leadership in a more of a quiet way. You don't look to shine the spotlight on yourself, but you lead just by walking around and being humble and so on. Is that really your natural characteristic?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are watching you more than you think, and just being a positive example is something that I strive to be every day. Good,
and you're both showing that, no question about it, and that's why you're on the show today. We're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest. For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again today. The profile on Logan basketball, but particularly on two senior standouts, Matthew Borscheim, Josh Mcgrath. A big part of who you are, Josh Mcgrath, is your faith, and you display it. And you talk about people that model that, and Steph Curry, one of my favorites. And when we took a break, we talked off the air about that. But you draw inspiration from people that display their faith, and you are a young man of deep substance. Share some of that with our viewers.
You know, that's just church, and faith has just been a big part of my life ever since I was, ever since I was a little kid. My parents would always have me in church, and they'd show me what's truly important to them, I guess, and that our faith would be first. Steph Curry definitely, epitomizes that, and I look up to him in that regard. And I just like that being defining me, I guess.
And your dad is a role model?
Mm-hmm.
Because he demonstrates the same values?
Yes. Yeah, he's been a role model for me, obviously, my whole life. Just the way he lives his life and helps others before himself, and he's just respectful and taught me, characteristics of a man, a good man.
The holy grail of basketball is selflessness versus selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
How you make others better. When you're on the bench like you are, Josh, there are athletes that are bitter. There are athletes that are jealous
Mm-hmm.
because they're not on the court. There are athletes that blame the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
That's not you, is it?
Mm-mm.
What are you thinking when you're on the bench?
The times I'm on the bench, I think a lot of players, every player would say they would, deal with wanting to be in the game and why they're not, or just trying to dissect that. But I think it just comes down to being, remembering that you're on a team and everything is together. And even if you're not on the court, just lifting, encouraging those kids who are on the court, because you never know when your number is going to be called and when you're going to have to go in and do something.
And Matthew, you're a young man of substance too. I can see it when I watch you participate. You don't display any selfishness.
Nope.
When the opportunity is there, you take advantage of it. But you're all about team, and that's kind of how you were raised. Talk about that and your family.
Yeah, my parents have always told me that it's really not about myself, and the best thing is for the team, and you just got to do anything you can to win for the team. And
the support of your family, how important is that to you?
It's very important to me that they're there for me and they want the best for me. So.
And Josh, your family, we talked a little bit about that, but they're there for you too, and that gives you some added inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's they're there no matter if you're in the game or not.
Yeah, they've always been with me. They've been with me, through everything really. Always there to encourage me, after a loss or stuff like that, and it's just really good having them there.
Well, basketball, probably you have a month left, maybe 6 weeks left or so, and then it's on to spring sport. And you're a gifted track and field athlete too. Talk a little bit about your events that you're involved in.
Yeah, I love track. I'm a sprinter, so 100 meters through 400s, relays in there. I also really like long jumping. It's something I'm good at and something I excel at.
You do, and it may very well take you to a collegiate opportunity for you. Is that what you're thinking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my goal would probably be to do track and field in college.
There's a good program here in La Crosse, UWL, that win national championships, conference championships.
Mm-hmm.
They would the head coach is a good friend of mine. He would like having you in the program.
I sure hope so.
And of course, Matthew,
Yeah.
basketball's over with, so let's not necessarily fast forward to the spring, but you're a gifted baseball player, too.
Yep. Two-sport athlete.
And your strength, is it on the hill?
I would say it's mostly hitting and playing in the outfield. I do pitch, but I didn't get to pitch a lot last year, but I'm hoping to do it a little bit more this year.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a different coach, too, because we're having a different one this year.
I knew that, and let's kind of just, you're in just a few months, it's over with. You move to the next chapter. It's amazing how quickly it goes, probably too quick. Let's fast forward to you next year. Where are you going to be, and maybe your career? And
Yeah, I'm planning to go to Minnesota State Mankato for sports management this fall.
and then what? Maybe president of the Milwaukee Bucks or what?
Well, I hope so someday. That'd be awesome.
Well, and you have a part-time job too, not only at the club, but some things to get you ready for your career.
Yeah, I work at the lacrosse loggers in the summer, which helps me prepare for the sports field and learning what goes into running a team and owning a team and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Learned a lot that last summer working for them.
So someday will you be, are you thinking about the CEO of Borton Construction? Or?
I don't think I'm going to go that path, but yeah, that would be...
The opportunity might be there for you if
Maybe.
sports marketing doesn't work out. Well, you could take Borton Construction and make it some kind of a sports endeavor.
Yeah.
Be an entrepreneurial guy, and Josh going on to maybe play here, and or where are you going to be then? You're going to graduate from college and you're going to make a difference in the world. What are you going to do?
I would hope to get a degree in the health science field or something like that, maybe physical therapy. That's something I like to do.
That's your strength? If I was going to ask your teammates to say a couple of words about you, Josh, and you weren't around, what would they say?
I hope they say that I'm a fun guy to be around, and that I'm selfless and care about them and not myself.
Is that a unique characteristic? I'll answer that for you. I think it is.
Yeah.
In today's world. What would your teammates say about you, Matthew?
I would hope they would say that I'm a team player and will do anything for the team so that we win the game.
Define leadership for our viewers.
I would say that it's positive, being a positive role model and leading through that.
I think in philosophy of life,
Yeah.
similar to that,
Yeah, I would say so.
grinding things out too, and
Yeah.
being able to handle things, and leadership for you, Josh, is being a role model, and you're doing it with few words but more action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how about philosophy of life? This, what is life all about? The question that so many people ask: like, why am I here? What's the reason I'm in existence?
I think there's a lot of opportunities that you can take advantage of, and you should do your best to take advantage of those for yourself, but then also putting others before yourself, because we don't live in this world by ourselves, and there's other people around us that we can lift up and help.
You mentioned to me a favorite saying, which I've heard used many times. Can you share that?
I have a lot of favorite sayings. I'm not sure who this is by, but it goes, "Success is not owned, it is rented, and rent is due every day."
And it's kind of like we're rented. We're a rented person on this earth, and paying back by giving to others is what our rent is all about. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
And I know again, Matthew, we talked a little bit about your philosophy of life, but is there something people don't really know about Matthew Borscheim?
I don't think they know that I like the outdoors a lot, and that they think that I love basketball and baseball, which I do, but I would just as much rather be outdoors, fishing and hunting and that kind of stuff.
Good fish. Are you a good fisherman?
I would consider myself a good fisherman.
I need some lessons. You can help me?
Maybe I'll take you out sometime.
Is there something that would really be profound to know that they don't know about you, Josh?
I would hope there's not too much hidden about me. Like Matthew said, I actually really like fishing. I grew up fishing. That's about it. My dad's a huge outdoorsman. So.
And so on a cold, snowy, or a rainy day or whatever, what would we find you doing?
On a cold, snowy, rainy day, I do like watching a lot of movies.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Good. So you're a Netflix boy, huh?
Sort of.
And at least you didn't say, like, well, I'm just going to play video games all day. It's like, what?
No, that's neither of us.
No.
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 You know, what do you do on when you finally have a day off, Matthew? You can't fish.
I can't fish. Well, you'd probably find me either on the court somewhere or on a diamond.
Or reading a book?
No. You would not find me reading a book.
No.
Okay, so, well, then I know for your birthday, I'm not going to give you a gift certificate for Barnes & Noble because you don't read.
Yeah.
That's okay. You don't have time with all the things you got going in your life. Well, we hope the best for you during the basketball season and then baseball and track and field. And I see you big game against Holman, and then you just fast forwarding to the end of the season, the regular season on February 22nd when you play Aquinas. So we wish you the best, and it's been a privilege to have you on the show. We hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We'll be back with some film clips from a big game right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Matthew Borscheim, Josh Mcgrath, two outstanding student athletes from Logan High School. Two area games on Tuesday night, and our cameras were there to bring you all of the action. Let's start in West Salem, a non-conference matchup with the Bangor Cardinals. Bangor coming off a Monday night loss to GET, and they took a 6-point lead into halftime against West Salem. West Salem, however, outplayed the Cardinals in the second half as the game was tied at 56-all after regulation play. In the overtime period, Bangor outscored West Salem 9-5 to capture the win. Luke Reeder led the way with 18 points, and Caleb Medema scored 14 as Bangor improved to 12-1. West Salem was led by David Lathouse with 16 points, scoring all 5 of those team points in the overtime period. Final score, Bangor 65, West Salem 61 in overtime. We were also at Onalaska for the Lady Knights and the West Salem Panthers in a Cooley Conference matchup. West Salem took a 31-27 lead into halftime and remained in control throughout the second half. West Salem was led by a game-high 18 points from Abby Niemeyer. McGenna Olsen added 14, and Maya Jacobson had 11 points and a record 7 rebounds. Luther was again led by Caitlin Kennedy with 17 points. West Salem moves to 14-5, while the Knights drop to 4-10. Final score from Luther High School, West Salem 63, and the Luther Knights 53. Well, hope you enjoyed this week's show. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.